Hey everyone, my name is Riley and this video is a step-by-step beginner's tutorial for Google Slides. Google Slides is a free slideshow and presentation software, and this video is going to break down everything that you need to know as a beginner. Everything from how to access Google Slides, how to use the interface and create beautiful presentations, and also how to take your presentations to the next level by adding transitions and animations. This video is a step-by-step guide, so even if you have never used Google Slides or any other presentation software, this video is going to show you everything that you need to know. Now, the very first thing that we have to figure out is how do you actually access Google Slides? So the first way that you can do this is if you are on Google Chrome and you are also logged in to your Google account. What we can do is click on Google Apps right here. And then if we scroll down, we can see we have Google Slides. So just click into Slides. And this is going to take us over to the Google Slides dashboard. That is the first way that you can access Google Slides. The second way is just open up a new tab. And in this search bar at the top, search for Google Slides. We can then select this. And this is the one that we are looking for right here. Not this top option that has the Google logo, but the second option that has this yellow box. We can click in. And this is going to take us to a slightly different area. The first method is going to take us to the Google Slides dashboard, whereas the second method is going to take us directly into a presentation where we can edit this. So if you are on this screen right here, just continue to stay on this screen, as this is what I will be explaining first. However, if you used the second method and your screen now looks like this, just go up to this top left corner and click on Slides Home, and this is going to take you over to this area. So this is the first area that I want to touch on. This right here is your Google Slides dashboard. Up here at the top, we can see it says Start New Presentation. We can either start from a blank presentation or we can see a template gallery right here. We can expand this template gallery by clicking on this button. Let me just do that again. So we have Template Gallery. Click on this and it's going to open a bigger gallery. So the gallery is essentially where you can come if you have an idea. For example, let's say you want to create a recipe book. We can see we have a recipe book template already. So we can go in and edit this rather than creating the entire thing from scratch. So you can look through and really see if there is anything here that you might want to use. But as an example, let's click into this recipe book and see what this looks like. As you can see, this has now loaded in. And this is what this template looks like. We currently have 8 slides and we can click through and see all of these different slides. So that is just an example of the templates and how you can access templates. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you exactly how you can use Google Slides using a blank presentation. However, these concepts are going to be carried over and all of these concepts are going to be the exact same if you do choose from one of these templates that you can see here. But let's create a blank presentation for now. In the middle here, we have the current slide that we have selected, and this is where we can make changes to all of the slides on our presentation. This left-hand side is going to show all of the slides that we have in this presentation, and we can also add new slides along here. To do this, simply right-click on one of these slides, and then we can go down to add a new slide. Let's click on this. And as you can see, we now have 2 slides that we can click between. I now have slide 1 selected, shown by this blue line on the outside. And the slide that I have selected is the one that is going to show up on this main screen right here. This is the slide that I am currently editing. I can then go to slide 2 and edit slide 2 in this main control panel shown right here. On this right-hand side, we also have this themes column. This is where we can choose the theme and the overall look of our Google Slides presentation. Right now, this is set to Simple Light, and this is the default that you will get as soon as you load into Google Slides. But we can scroll down and we can choose between any of these. If you like the look of a theme, simply click into that theme, and that's automatically going to be added to your Google Slide presentation. The theme that you have is automatically going to be carried over to any new slides that you create. Once again, let's go over to this left-hand side, right-click on one of these current slides and add a new slide. And as you can see, that theme is going to be carried over to all of the slides that we have or are going to have in our presentation. Once you have selected your theme, or even if you want to stick with this blank theme right here, just click on this X button to close this in the top right corner, and that theme area is going to close. If you want to open the theme panel back up to change your theme, then we can see this in this top bar right here. We have theme. So just click into theme. And as you can see, that's going to open back up on this right hand side. Let's close this down for now. Let's now go in and start adding some text to our presentation. So I'm going to go to slide 1 right here. And then we can see we currently have a few text boxes that make this up. So right here, it says click to add a title. By default, Google Slides is going to give us these default text boxes that we can use, and we can just fill text within these. For example, if I want to add a title to my presentation, I can click on this, and I'm going to create a title for my presentation by simply typing it into here. We can then go down and add a subtitle. So I'm just going to add my name. And just like that, we now have some text within this presentation. Alternatively, if you don't like the way this is laid out and you would like to customize this yourself, we can click into these default text boxes. As you can see, this one is now highlighted, and then click the backspace to delete this. I'm also going to do the same for this text box. Click on this and then backspace, and that is now deleted. To add your own text boxes and text to your presentation, simply go up to the text box icon right here at the top. We can click into this and we can see the tool that we have selected, as this is now highlighted in blue. To create a text box, if we now hover our mouse back over the main presentation, we can see we have this little crosshair. So all we have to do is select the position we want to start the text box at, click, and then drag your mouse to the desired length of your text box. I'm going to create it right here. The text box is now going to be shown in this blue color. And if you go to one of these lines, we can see once again, we are going to get this little crosshair. And this is how we can move the text box that we have. So I want to align this more centrally. I simply click on the blue outline. And as you can see, I can now drag this text box around. If we drag this into the center, you can see we are going to get this red line through the center of the text box. And what you will notice as you go over this is it's going to kind of stick your text box to there. So if I go down, it's going to kind of hold my text box there, but I can push through this if I continue to push. And what this line means is this is now centered. So this is the exact center of my document. I can then move over and we also get this line long ways. So this right here is the exact center of my document. This is where I want to drop this text box. Then to add text, I'm just going to double click in the center of this text box. And I can now type the text that I want to type. So I now have my text. However, this is a little bit off. I want this to be in the center of the text box, and I also want this to be a little bit bigger. We can make all of these changes using this toolbar along the top. Now, to do this, the first thing that we need to do is highlight the text that you want to change using these tools along the top. So I'm going to click and drag along this text, and it's now going to be highlighted in this blue color. From here, we can then make changes to the text. So we can go up and change the font. If I click into this font bar right here, I can see all of the fonts that I can use with Google Slides. If we hover over one of these fonts, for example, Montserrat, we can then choose the thickness of the text that we have. As this is a title, I'm going to set this to bold, and my text is now going to be changed to the selected font and also the thickness of that font. Next to the text, we have the font size. So we can go in and click on this plus icon to increase the font size, or click on this minus icon to decrease the font size. I'm going to set this to about 30. Next along, we have bold, italic, and underline, and you can see which one of these is selected because it is highlighted in blue. So I can see that this font is currently bold. If I click on this bold button and take that blue icon away, my text is now going to be unbold. So let's set this to bold and underline. And then if you do want to set this to italic, you just click this italic button, but I'm going to leave this off. Next, we can change the text color. So we can click into this, and then we can choose from any of these colors right here. For example, let's set this to red. As you can see, my text is now going to change to this red color. We do have a few other tools right here, which we will talk about later in the video. But another thing that is very important right now is this align tool. As you can see, my text is currently aligned to the left. We can see that it's aligned to the left of this text box, but we can align this centrally, or we can align this to the right. I'm going to keep my text aligned to the center, just like this. I'm now going to create another text box to enter in my name. So once again, I just select the text box, click and drag. Then I'm going to enter my name in right here. Once that is selected, I can then drag my text box into the center, once again highlight the text, and then I'm going to go up to the align tool and align this in the center. So this right here is the title page for my document. Let's now go to the next slide. Once again, you can see we have these default settings and these default text boxes. And if you do want to delete these, you can once again go in, make sure you select the edge, and then you can delete this. Or you can just go in, click to add a title. So I will title this The King. And it's now going to ask me to enter in some text here. However, text isn't really what I want to add to this slide. Instead, I want to add an image. So once again, I'm going to select this text box and delete. And now I want to insert an image. So to do this, to insert an image, I'm going to go up to the insert button along the top right here. And then we can see we have an image option. So if we hover over the image, we have a few different options here. We can upload an image straight from our computer. We can search the web for an image. We can go for GIFs and stickers, or we can upload one from our own Drive file. I'm going to keep this simple and just upload a file from my computer. So we can click on this and then select the file that we want to add into here. I have a photo of Prince Charles, so I'm just going to select this image, then click on open. And just like that, this image is now going to be dropped in. I can move this image around by simply clicking and dragging on this image, and I can move this image to wherever I want it to be on this document. Let's put it right here. I also want to move this title a little bit further up, so I'm going to click on this, and then drag this further up towards the top, just like that. Then let's align this a little bit more up. Perfect. Now I want to add some more text. So once again, I will go to this text box, drag a text box in right here, and then I can start typing out a little bit of information about this. I'm going to keep this nice and simple, and I'm just going to enter the King of the United Kingdom is King Charles II. So this now looks cool, but I want to take this a step further and add a link into my presentation so people can click into the link and see who King Charles III is. To add links, simply just highlight the text that you want to add a link to. So I want this link to come in when people click on King Charles III. So I'm going to specifically highlight King Charles III and then go up to this top bar once again and click on this insert link button. Right here, it's now going to ask me to paste in a link. So let's go and find a source for King Charles III. Wikipedia is an awesome source. So I'm going to go to Wikipedia, and then all I need to do is go to the URL along the top right here, highlight this, then go to my presentation and paste this in. As soon as I click apply, you will notice that the text color is going to change and is also going to become underlined. Now, if I click into this, you can see we have a Wikipedia link right here. And this now means that anybody who comes to this document can clearly see that this is a link. They can click into this and they can go straight to Wikipedia right here. We can change the color of this though. So once again, we can highlight this. And let's say we don't want it to be this blue. We want it to be a different shade of blue. We can simply select that. And there we go. We now have a link in our document. Another feature of Google Slides that you might want to use is the highlight feature. If you are typing some text and you want to highlight a particular section, this is how you would go about doing that. In this example, I'm just going to highlight the words the United Kingdom. So once again, we want to select the words United Kingdom by clicking and dragging. And then we can access the highlight tool by clicking on this highlight button along the top. From here, we can then select the color we want to highlight this with. Let's go with a yellow. And as you can see, the United Kingdom, the words that I selected, is now going to be highlighted with the color that I selected. When you add images, you can also add things called animations, which are a cool way of bringing images, or you can even do this with text, bringing them into the presentation. All we have to do is click on the image or text, and then along the top, we can see animate. So if we click on animate, we can then choose how this object is going to be animated. So right now we have appear, but we can change this to any of these. So let's go for fade in. Then we can click on play to see how this is going to look. And it's going to look like that when it fades in. We can also choose the speed that this happens at. So if we want this animation to happen quickly or more slowly. And it's definitely worth playing around with a few of these and figuring out which one you want. Let's set zoom in and then set this to fast. Once again, we can click on play. And that's how this image is now going to come in. Now, there is a lot of other things that we can add into our Google Slides by using this insert button along the top. Let's use a new slide to do this. So I'm going to click into my third slide right here. And once again, to create a new slide, you just right click on one of your current slides and click on new slide. If we go up to the insert bar along the top, you can see that we can not only insert images and text boxes, we can also insert audios, videos, shapes, tables, charts, so many of these other things. So let's add an audio right here. We select audio, and it's going to ask us to select audio from our Google Drive. So let's say we want to enter in a video. We can click on video right here, and it's now going to ask us to insert a URL from YouTube. So if you do want to add a video in, all we are going to do is go over to YouTube, and let's just search for a video of the United Kingdom. This one right here is a London City walking tour. So let's select this. And then once again, all we need to do is go to this URL along the top, copy, and then paste this into this bar at the top. Click on enter, and then we can see results from YouTube, and it's going to come up with this exact video. Let's now select this, and this video is now going to load in. To resize this video, and I should have mentioned this with the images, you can do this as well. All you need to do is click on the video or the image, and then you can see we have these blue boxes along the side. Simply click and drag these, and as you can see, this is going to make the video bigger and smaller depending on where we drag this to. Let's make this video a nice size, and then we can move this into the center of the document. Once again, I'm going to delete this second text box, and then at the top, I'm going to add in a title. Let's just call this London. Another thing that we can do with videos is if we click in, we can choose the start and end point. So let's say we don't want to start this video at the start. We want to start this 16 minutes in. So we can select this to start 16 minutes in. And then let's say we also want this to end at 20 minutes. We can select the start and end time. And now if somebody clicks on this video to play this, it's only going to show the 16th minute to the 20th minute. Let's create a new slide once again. And then if we go up to insert, you can see we can add in different shapes. So I'm not going to show you this in detail as it's not really necessary, but with shapes, we can just add these in, click and drag. With a table, we can highlight over table and then select how big we want this table to be. Let's go for a 5x5 table. We just select the boxes right here. And as you can see, that's going to add in a 5x5 table. Let's just delete this shape right here and then move this table more into the center. If you do want to add a table, this is the table right here. And then we can click into each of these columns and type out what we want to type into each of these table sections. Let's delete this for now. We can also add in charts, we can add in diagrams, and then something very cool is we can also go for word art. So let's say you don't like these boring titles along the top. We can go to word art, and then let's type in the word United Kingdom. We can then click enter. And as you can see, it's going to bring up a much nicer and better looking title. So once again, we can just drag this to the top, maybe even delete this title section right here. Drag this in, and we are going to have some word art. If you want to delete any of your slides at any time, once again, we just hover over the slide that you want to delete, right click, and then you can see this delete button right here. We can click on delete, and that slide is now going to be deleted. You can also duplicate slides that you have already created in this same method, right click and then duplicate slide. And that's going to create an exact carbon copy of your previous slide that you can now edit. And this is not going to make any changes to the previous slide that you copied from. So those are the basics for how you can use Google Slides. Next, let's talk about taking the slides that we have created and making these into a beautiful presentation. The first thing that we can do is add transitions to each slide. So as I flick from this slide to this slide in my presentation, I can stop this from being a boring transition like this, and I can add a transition. To do this, hover over one of the slides, right click, and then we can see transition. So if we click into transition right here, we can then go to the slide transition and choose which transition we have from any of these. Once again, it's definitely worth playing around with all of these and seeing which one you like, and you can click the play button to see how this is going to look. So that is dissolve right there. Let's have a look at cube. There is the cube. And what we can also do is apply this to all slides if we want them to have the same transition. However, I don't really want this, so I'm going to go to this next one and choose this one as gallery. So I'm now happy with these, and we can see that these two slides have transitions shown by this icon right here. To see how the final presentation is going to look, just go to the first slide on your presentation, click into slideshow, and this is going to start the presentation. If I click along, you can see I'm now going to have the transition that I just added. If I click onto the king's name, that's going to take me over to Wikipedia because I added the link. And then if I click again, we are going to get another transition. Once you have finished with the presentation that you have created, we can name this presentation in this top left corner. Right now, this is called Untitled Presentation. So I'm going to highlight and delete that. And then I'm going to call this United Kingdom Presentation. Just like that. You can share your presentation by going to File, and then you can either download this as a PowerPoint file, a PDF document, any of these options right here. Or the best option is going to be Share. If we go to Share, we can click Share with Others. And then we can enter in the name of the email that we want to share this presentation with. If I add one of my other emails right here, we can click on Send. And if I now open up my email from the perspective of the person I sent this to, we can see Presentation Shared with You. We can click into the presentation right here, and this is going to take me over to that presentation. Finally, if I back out to the main presentation homepage right here, I can access my presentation at any time by seeing the presentation that I want to open, clicking into this, and then I can go straight back in and start editing this in the same way. So that is my tutorial on Google Slides. If you found this video valuable, don't forget to smash that like button and tap that subscribe button, and until next time, take it easy.